Guys, welcome to technically, I mean, this is like our first real podcast episode. We're bringing it to you in this format. And we got a lot of topics today because the topic is family business. And this all connects to the upcoming event. So we're going to talk a little bit about the upcoming event, and then we're going to talk a little bit about the creation of KFW, when that started, how it started. But on November 14th at the Sevierville Civic Center, we're going to be bringing you the family gathering. This is our annual Thanksgiving style event.
Well, this is actually
Inaugural.
this is the first annual, and we also want to say this: limited VIP. If you pay the 25, you get to eat with the wrestlers at 6:30. We're going to try to throw on a match on the what would you call it? The big screen.
Big screen, yeah. And the Henry family is going to be sitting down and giving you guys a live podcast about the history of how we started this, and just entertain you guys.
I do feel like this is kind of turned into a little bit of our show. Like, we're doing a photo op, which I said was, man, I mean,
Well, they don't know that yet. So what he's talking about,
they're gonna hear it. Some of them already know it. It's out.
yeah, is we're going to be doing a photo op. A lot of you guys have always been able to take photos with Kinsey, with myself, with Kylie, and all separately, but never with the entire Henry family. So we're going to do a photo
It
op.
still sounds like we're putting ourselves up.
Hey,
Sorry.
listen, it's the
But
family gathering. That's what it is.
I think people understand, but still.
And speaking of putting ourselves over, so one of the things we're bringing you guys for this family
My
style
return,
event,
bro.
yeah. Myself, Tommy, Kinsey are going to be taking on Overkill, Vale, and Connor with Vixen there too, and she got involved a lot there at Black Harvest. But we're bringing this together. This is a little bit of old school and new school.
And by the time this comes out, there is a chance that Kylie could be added to this match. That's kind of up in the air right now.
Wow. Okay.
But if she is added into the match, Vixen will officially be an 8-man tag.
Oh, people are going to love that.
It's all about when this comes out.
The second we posted about this match, the first comment was like, "Can we get a guarantee that Vixen's not going to get involved?" Well, now she's going to be forced to be involved. And not only that, we have more surprises for you guys on top of the podcast, on top of that family main event. We're also going to be having Shane Williams and Chase Stevens in action. You want to talk a little bit about these other guys?
Well, the history with Chase Stevens and Shane in KFW Wrestling and Crossfire. You put those guys in a dog collar match. This is a follow up from Harvest. When you got Tyler Stevens and Javen Meyer. That look is two guys who are very confident inside the ring and out, and that's what I like about this. I like to think that Chase and Shane have always been two confident guys, right? And they're the vets, and here's these two young kids that are generally, I think they both know that they're good. You know what I mean?
Yeah. And I mean, Shane and Chase have a history with KFW, and we're going to have a whole nother episode where we'll really get into all the Team Nashville stuff. But I mean, their history with us dates back, like 15 years.
Yeah. You think about some of the classic stuff with them. You think about Chase Stevens getting busted open at Harvest. And, it's just a dog collar match. Like I said, you've been in a dog collar match with these guys.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's very dangerous. I almost had to have a blood transfusion. No, we talk about there is going to be a big return that evening as well.
Yes, that is the big man Silas Mason coming in, right? And it's looking like by the time this breaks that he will be wrestling Toby Farley of the Foundation.
That's going to be a knockdown drag out. I mean, Silas Mason has really put his stamp on this area, and especially with the NWA.
Yeah.
I mean,
and that's all we can say because it's all pretext stuff. So
yeah.
But yeah, Silas Mason, obviously, you talk about a guy who is, he's been to KFW probably 3 or 4 times, but coming in this time, I really feel, Silas is at the top of his game right now.
You don't have to talk about. I don't want. Obviously, you can't talk about some of the stuff that goes on in NWA because a lot of stuff, like you said, there's pre-tapes and stuff like that.
Yeah,
But
yeah,
you made it known on Facebook that y'all shot at Center Stage. So
yeah.
can you tell me a little bit about what it was like to be there, and what is your history with Center Stage? And or maybe these people here don't even know what Center Stage means.
Well, center stage was where WCW shot Saturday night, and there's really been a lot of wrestling in there. I want to say the NWA shot there, obviously, but I do know that WCW Saturday night did, and I mean it was just cool to be there, man. Like you go to a place like that, like a historic building, and you're working with your kids. It's just, I mean, man, it's really, it really is. And when you talk about it in a setting like this, it's like it really does hit you like it really is a dream come true.
Who do you see right now in the NWA that's coming up that's like on the radar? I mean, listen, we could
It's a lot of
obviously
guys.
we are, Crossfire is a filtration system now for NWA, and there's a lot of our talent that's there as well. So let's say if we don't talk about any of the NWA Crossfire talent, but maybe the other talents that are there.
I think you always have to say, Kerry Morton for
Mhm.
sure. Um, he's just, I don't know, he's just got it, man. There's so many guys though, dude. Uh, you know, there's a lot. You got like a Carson Drake. That's another guy who's got he's got a perfect character. I would say character, but it really is who he is, kind of. Carson Drake is really an extension of Carson Drake. So, and I like his style. It's like a simple style. It's uh, I dig it.
Would you say that your title is your title there as producer and talent now, right? Or would
Well,
you know?
I kind of work in the back for a while. I was shooting some of like some of the promo footage. Lately, I've been wrestling.
I saw that.
So
Yeah, yeah. And
yeah,
you guys can go on Roku now, and
yeah, Roku Sports.
you can on Roku Sports, and you can see actually my brother here in action on
Yep,
NWA teaming
yep.
up with Hunter. So I mean, it seems like you've been through a whirlwind, and
Such a whirlwind.
your time in NWA is like actively evolving.
Yeah, I mean, it's been great being there, man. And it's just, oh man, it's like a dream come true. What can you say?
What is
I've
it that you're looking for in a talent whenever you sit down and you say, I think this person would be good at this. I think this person would be good in this position, maybe coming up to NWA or doing something along those lines. Not saying that you have that much pull, but I'm saying if you were looking through the eyes of someone who could make it there, what are you looking for?
I mean, I think that's a hard question, kind of, but I think you have to be able to cut a promo for sure. You have to be a good promo guy, and you have to have a character. You know, uh,
That seems to always come first, that whenever you're talking to any promoter or you're speaking about anyone, is their ability to communicate with the crowd, their ability to communicate with the audience, and their
yeah,
ability to essentially kind of produce themselves, right?
yeah,
And it's all about kind of like making y'all's job kind of easy,
yeah,
right?
yeah.
So now listen, we just had the Black Harvest event. I want to bring this photo up and talk a little bit about what happened, and I'll kind of let you get into it.
Well, obviously, years of
You can see Hoovy there in the background. Hoovy. So at our Black Harvest event, not one, you had Kinsey versus Hoovy versus Drake, and it was for that KFW title, which Hoovy has held for how many years?
what was it, 1,907 days.
Oh my
So
gosh. So and then
no, I'm
now
sorry. Yeah, it was something like basically almost 3 full years.
he's held it so long now to the point where it wasn't even NWA Crossfire
Yeah,
whenever he originally bought it. So the title is finally being rebranded
Are we
as
going to show that here?
yeah. Just a little snippet of kind of what we have coming down the pipeline for you guys. Is that title is officially being worked on now and being rebranded as you see the logo there at the top with NWA Crossfire.
And this is just the pictures that Kylie got of the kind of the beginning, kind of
it. Yeah.
The format of it. And so, yeah, that's going to be really cool, man. And we will be taking that belt home from every wrestler. Nobody's keeping the belt.
Whenever there's going to be a lot more stuff that comes out about the family gathering, but one of the things we want to make sure to let you guys know, only about 30 spots are going to be available for VIP. And with that VIP, you get in the door at 6:30 and you get like a turkey dinner, right?
Yes.
It comes with the VIP ticket, along with being able to sit, eat, and enjoy this live podcast, followed by the photo op with the Henry family. And then the regular general admission doors are going to be open at like 7:15. So it's just, this is our way of kind of giving back to you guys. And also it's kind of our way of really integrating you guys into our family. So it's no longer the Henry family, it's the Crossfire family.
Yeah, I think we've always did good with that, man. Like just doing cutting edge stuff like that.
Yeah, definitely. I think that's,
how many shows can you go and really like enjoy a true Thanksgiving dinner with the wrestlers where everybody puts their personal beef aside, and it's just,
and we talk turkey.
Yeah. So to me, that's special. I don't, not many people does that. I think it's cool that we do it, man. So I think it's another thing that makes us close with the fans. That is what it is literally. I know it is a redundant thing to say, but that literally is what it's about. I mean, if you can't make them happy, if you can't build some kind of relationship with them, you got to give them what they want too, man. I'd like to think that we go over the top on trying to do that, man.
We try our damnedest. That's for
really
sure.
We always have. It's not just something lately. We did it forever.
Yeah, and we have ideas and different things that are going to be coming down the pipeline that are going to expand upon some of these bigger events.
Well, I do want to say this too. When it wasn't cool to bring in Chris Sabin back in 2006, we did it. When it wasn't cool to fucking, is that what I say that?
Yeah, sure.
When it wasn't cool to like bring in, you know, who else, man? Like a Christopher Daniels with some of the vets at the time, or Lethal. I mean, back during the first TNA run.
Sure.
And the list goes on and on, man.
When we really get into it now, going back to the kind of dawn and creation of KFW, I really want to pull back the curtain and really give these people some inside stories and some real stuff that we dealt with whenever our doors originally opened. So, listen, we were running shows at like the Sevier County football field, but our original venue was a bar.
Yeah,
it was like a 2-story bar.
I just got done telling this to Austin Idol, which was really cool, man. That we used to run at this. It was a barn, but it was the Triple C dance barn.
Yeah, I remember that first year doing events there, and we were on nobody's radar.
On the second event that we ever did, and by the way, we were coming into it brand new, man. I mean, honestly, straight out of the backyard. I mean, it's always been known about us. But we're a beautiful story. We were able to.
Would you say that's put in that?
I think
that caused a negative connotation for us for years.
I would say for the first couple of years, but whenever you take a guy like Shane Williams who set us down and said, this is this, and kind of mapped everything out. And you look at us now. I mean, obviously, look now. You know what I mean? I got 2 kids in the business.
Don't look now. Look then. Look at
Yes,
that. I mean,
right there. That
that's
was my uh yeah, that was what, 2013?
yeah, yeah. I mean, this is of course years later, but those
And you know what,
those
dude?
first
I've
5 or 6
aged really
years.
well, dude. By the way, a lot of people
Well,
say that.
we have
Yeah,
good genes. We
we
do.
do.
Well, anyways, this is one of our
Well,
but
this is a great
and then
photo.
going back
Me and you,
even further. So
me and
okay,
John here.
yeah. So you used to do this like Canadian heel
Yes,
character,
Devon Hart.
Devon Hart, and
Obviously, I was a huge, fan of Bret Hart, and I
as we
got
all
on
are.
and I got on a little run there with it, and
Yeah.
I was like, "Hey, man, I'm just going to do the Canadian." I don't know. It was easy heat in '06. I didn't even know what I was
And
doing.
I think you felt good with having a
Yeah,
mask
I
on.
felt more comfortable having a mask on,
Yeah.
and then that's crazy because
We
now,
all wear masks, metaphorically
yeah,
speaking.
yeah, it's crazy because now. But I think, yeah, that might have been a little bit of a phobia for me. But I also knew I was coming into it. I wanted a character that was easy to get over. And come on, dude, I don't, we're talking 2006 here. Everything was still very patriotic.
I mean, I remember whenever we first started, I was wrestling as Isaac Kane, but also every now and then I would wrestle under a hood as a character named Judas, because a lot of us because we were such a small group and it was only our core people that some of us would sometimes do that,
Yeah.
and I would be able to kind of split my personalities and play this kind of evil role. And I remember I was in this, I can't remember who I was working against, but I was in this match and we were at the Triple C Dance Barn, and then I felt like something behind me grabbed me, and I got
Yeah.
thrown to the ground, and I thought it was the person who I was working against. And then there was like very quickly I got like hit 3 or 4 times, and then I jumped up
Yeah.
and I ran to the bathroom and I pulled off that mask, and like the whole side of my face was
Well,
black and my eye was busted.
you had been attacked by a fan at only our second show. And our family I'm really surprised that that guy got out of there without getting hit.
Well, I remember my
Because,
grandfather, my papa
yeah,
Jackie
he had
pulled a
pulled,
knife on
he
him.
had pulled the blade.
He had pulled a blade on him, and then our uncle, who's big country,
Yeah.
grabbed him by his collar, and there was a set of steps, like 15 steps that led up to the entrance of the Triple
Mhm.
C, and threw him down the steps. And this guy was like, I don't know, he was like 380 pounds, just tumbled and rolled down the steps. And then years later, I ended up actually, I
Well, we
found out I
sued
knew
him,
his daughter.
right?
I knew his daughter.
Didn't we sue
So
him?
I did not sue
I
him.
think it was like, we're going to sue
He was
if.
it was at a bar. He was drunk, so he made sure to take care of my medical
Well, you're not just
expenses.
going. Yeah, you're not
Yeah,
just going to attack us. I mean, even then, man.
yeah.
I think that's something else that when we kind of talk about us first getting out started. Yeah, we were kind of renegades, man. I'm not saying, I think there's an early pick, man. What you did, those custom made. I remember.
Those were made out of DVD cases.
Yeah, I remember.
Those.
Well, you was always creative with that. I mean, you still are very creative with that stuff. But yeah, I think that we did things. We did it our way.
Well,
Really,
and
is what
it's
it
not.
is.
It's as the the Triple C Dance Farm was a very interesting place. I remember hanging off the rafters and going through tables.
Yes.
We were having matches. Again, I want to remind you guys, we weren't having matches once a month. We were having matches every week.
Yeah, it started off every Friday, then every Wednesday, and I was like, man, I don't think we can draw on Wednesdays. And the guy did say, like, I can't remember, he was one of the several guys that ran it during that time. He
Well,
was like,
no, it
oh,
was the woman who owned it. Every time she got a boyfriend, that
no,
he would
man,
come in or something. I don't know.
yeah, I don't know but anyhow,
That's
whatever it
certain.
is, I was thinking we can't draw on Wednesdays even then. This was '06, and then lo and behold, we drew, and then but really those the Triple C days wasn't really. It was really early, and it was really a short-lived thing.
But I do
The
remember.
armory is where the Pigeon Forge Armory is where a lot of the chunk of memories come from. And then you think about the conference center. That was like, I
That
don't
was
know,
like 10 years
that was about
almost at the
10
conference center.
years at the conference center. And we're coming up on year 2 at the Civic.
But I do remember there was one event in particular that we did at the Triple C where there was another promotion that showed up, and there was a guy who ended up being I know him really well, and he's a sweetheart. His name was Billy Marshall. But I remember I was going up against Overkill, and I gave him a swinging right bottom off a stage through a table, and I can just remember all those guys from that other promotion like jumped up out of their seats, and then that's whenever those like Sigmunds and some of these other people started getting involved, and then we had our first big event, which was Independent Uprising, and that was with who did we have at that? That was
We had James Storm
and beautiful Bobby Eaton was there
at the peak too. I mean, red hot at the time. Who else did we have? Eric Storm.
Eric Young.
Yeah, Eric Young. There
Eric
you go.
Young,
Eric
yeah.
Storm. Yeah, Eric. I was thinking of
Eric
Eric
Storm.
Darkstorm.
Yeah.
Shout out to Eric Darkstorm.
But
he knows what I'm thinking about.
And then we had those moments where we would learn things that we didn't know coming into the business. Like I can remember Overkill doing a leg drop, and then someone else, one of the other, big name wrestlers, like that's Bobby Eaton's move.
No, it was a Stone actually. Yeah,
Stone. Yeah. But we were learning on the job essentially.
Oh, I mean for sure.
And if it wasn't for people like Shane and Sigmund and some of those guys, they kind of we were watching by proxy through them.
Yeah.
And then creating the concept of weekly story driven content. And that really started with Shane. And that's whenever we went to the Armory. I think I showed this a few moments ago, but this was the Armory, the Pigeon Forge Armory.
This was the first harvest.
That was the first harvest with Saban and Menace. But
Menace gets the pin here, too, by the way.
The Armory was our home for, would you say, almost 7 years?
07 until like 2015. So about 7 or 8. We think we was at the conference center
for almost 10 years.
No, I don't think it wasn't
quite 10.
Probably like 6.
6 or 7, yeah.
Or something, yeah.
Well, and then going to the Armory, that expanded our space. So that's whenever, like, I remember our first Black Harvest event, and there was so many people in there. So now compared to what we do now, it is normal. But back then, we had never experienced anything like that.
No. And you think about it, I don't even think we really even promoted. I mean, I think this is before we really knew how to really even.
Well, there was no social media back then.
Yeah, but I'm saying I don't even know if we flyers, bro. Because when I think back on that, I don't even think we flyers.
It was all connections.
It was just kind of like a word of mouth.
Yeah,
it's kind of how that.
There was
and really, you go back to that first harvest. That's what made it's our version of like Starrcade or WrestleMania. That's our version of that.
But there was more than just Chris Sabin there, correct? At the first one, who else did we have at the first one? I know Jerry Lynn was at 2, but we had, I think Bobby Eaton was at the first. He was Bobby Eaton was definitely
Bobby was there. Ricky was there.
Yeah.
We had Chase Stevens and Andy Douglas together. As the Naturals, and the Now was there, a tag team that I love. That's up in the north.
Yeah, because that's whenever. Listen, I'm. This is, and because it happened on that first year at Harvest. It's always been a fear that I've had, but
when the
ring broke mid-show, and I remember the Naturals and the Now went out there and wrestled with one rope.
Yeah,
one rope,
and it was amazing. Really,
yeah, it really was. And then that's whenever I fought Donovan Daniels, and then I have my moment there at that Fans Bring the Weapons.
And you think, man, we just passed year 20. I don't know, man.
It's a long time. We've always integrated our family in. So I remember those first few years, like I was mainly paired up with Shane Williams.
Yeah.
Right. And Dad would come out and manage me. And I remember Shane pile driving him, and I remember being at the rehab center and doing videos on that. All that stuff exists out there somewhere.
Yeah. Well, it's on the tapes.
Yeah. and then having our first cage matches, and
It was the
you
little
know,
DVDs that went into the camera. Remember, it
yes,
wasn't even
mini DVDs, and if they got scratched, then you're screwed. You know,
yeah.
they just didn't exist anymore.
And the first ones was on the V8, the old VHS, the
Yeah,
big.
it was like
Big
there were
camcorder.
little bitty tapes, and then you had to take the small tapes out and put it inside of a bigger tape to put it in the VCR. So that's how old it
Crazy.
was. Whenever you look back on those first few formative years, what is your most fondest memories? What's matches that stand out the most to you in those first, I would say, 3 or 4 years, those formative years?
Well, there's a lot of them. That's kind of put me on the spot. I would say you and Donovan Harvest. That has to be one, right? Because it's our version of WrestleMania, our version of Starrcade, our big show
Mhm.
of the year. That's the main event for it. Then I mean, a lot of matches from that night, or at least, the Now and the Naturals. That makes me, that's a classic one. Let's see, Menace's matches, Menace and Saban, obviously, Menace and Lethal, which was one of the best matches of all. Not just a quote here. And a lot of people have said this, one of the best matches in East Tennessee history.
Him also versus Christopher Daniels.
Yes.
And fun. There's a
He
story
followed
behind
it
that.
up with Christopher Daniels,
Yeah.
who then they were like, man, I mean, Menace has a lot. When you just break down boom, boom, bang, bang matches, yeah, Menace has a lot of.
He even had a
record.
fantastic one with Jerry Lynn, and I remember another one that he had that got kind of crazy.
And I'm going to say
whenever he
this,
fought
dude.
Kid Cash.
Yeah.
That was
he got back with Kid Cash.
yeah. There was like he chopped him. Kid Cash got upset
And
about
I'm
it. There was
sure
almost
that
a
it
fight
would be
in
a
the locker
respectful
room,
thing.
right?
Yeah, I'm sure it would be a respectful thing now, but yeah, it was a
And
pretty
Miz is
wild
like the
night.
nicest human
Yeah.
you could, but his chops were
Brutal.
brutal. Yes, they were no joke.
I still think, man, I still believe Menace could have a run with us. I still believe it, man.
He has a place
Yes,
for it. There's,
I know.
he's
I know.
he was very important to our first 10 years, and we would like for nothing else I would like to see Menace come
I'd
back.
love to see Menace come
myself.
back.
And then and you were smart enough to integrate in those talents that were kind of road scholars like Shane Williams and Chase Stevens into the local talent while still giving us local guys a chance to work each other too. Because
Yes.
I had an elongated feud with Overkill, which was one of the headliners for Black Harvest 2. But then it ended up being like me and Overkill, or me and Derek, or me and teaming up to fight Team Nashville, and taking on all these talents.
Oh yeah, you talk about those matches that stand out. When Jerry the King Lawler came in, obviously that's going to stand out, right? Him and Shane. That was when I was sitting there recording that from my phone right at ringside. So
can I tell a story?
Oh yeah.
Okay, so the year we brought in Jerry the King Lawler, I actually went to a event in Nashville. And this was like a legend show. I'm not going to mention the promotion. I'm not going to mention the promoter, but it was a legend show. And Jerry the King Lawler was there. So the idea was that, hey, back then you didn't have smartphones. Like you couldn't just hold your phone up and take a promo video and then send it to the promotion. So I went down there to mostly get in front of Lawler to get a recorded promo from him. And this Lawler is very well known in the Nashville and Memphis area. So they have seen him a lot before, right? So whenever they drew that house, right, I was like, they drew really well. And in my brain, I was like, we should draw better because we've never had it.
I drew the house.
No, but I was like, we should draw better because he's never really
drew
been
the house, man.
He's never really been down here. So I was having this conversation with you on the telephone, and I was telling you, I was like, yeah, they drew pretty good, but I think we can draw better. And listen,
rest in peace to this guy too, because I already know this is good.
I was walking down the hall after I had that, and then I got ripped into another room, and there was some skinny guy who I don't know who he was, but he started chewing my ass out. And next to him was Brian Christopher, which is Lawler's son. And then he was like, "You're dogging our show." And I was like, no, dude, that's not what I'm doing. Your dad's working our show, and I'm like, and they wouldn't let me leave the room until I offered him a booking at Harvard. Until I was like, no, dude, you got this wrong. We're doing this show, and
I
maybe
do
you can
remember.
even come down,
I do remember you telling me about it. I remember the phone call when you told me about it. So it's been a long run
It's
of a
yeah.
lot of
And
stories, dude.
we have a bunch of those stories. I can talk about backstage fights, but we can save that for another day. Being maced in the face, and you have a
There's
ton of
video of
stories.
that too. That was a real shoot video.
Where
Yeah,
is it? I don't know
I've
where it's
got
at.
it.
You've got it still?
Mhm.
Okay. So, and we can talk about some of that stuff, but we don't want to spoil everything on this first episode. But it's just those formative years of KFW, why we started it. Going back as a kid, where did your love for wrestling begin? Who was your number one guy? Who was the person you were most enthralled with?
I know this is going to sound like I'm just saying it.
It was Hogan, right?
Ricky Morton,
Ricky Morton.
the Rock and Roll Express, National Wrestling Alliance. That's the first. Yeah, I can remember thinking at one time, if I can just book the Rock and Roll Express one time, I can just be done with the business. Like if I'm done, then I've reached the pinnacle. Because do you remember when I used to tell you as a kid, I was like, "Hey, there's a ring up in that attic." Do you not remember me always
Yes,
telling
at
you
the
that?
house. Yeah, you used
Because
to
I
tell me.
always, yeah,
That's crazy. I still live in this
crazy
family
stuff.
house, and there's a little opening in the attic, and he used to tell me there was a ring in the attic, and I'll never forget.
I always wanted a ring though. Remember, it's
Yes,
weird. It's like
and
some stuff is destined.
we all took our like income tax money
We're
or
getting really
something.
deep here. No,
No, it's fine.
I took
You
mine.
took your
You didn't. Yeah,
well, and then
you're trying to take credit for that.
we drove to Kentucky. Shout out to Monster Rings mock
Mm-hmm.
samples. Yeah. And we bought our first ring.
Yeah,
And whenever we bought it, it was just the steel frame.
it's about time to buy. It's about time to buy
Buy
another
another
one.
one, right?
Yeah.
It was just the poles. Like this is whenever you would buy the wood additionally. So there was no steel frame, it was all a wooden frame. And I remember you guys setting it up, and like I was sick in the house or something. But and then the very first time I ever stepped into that ring, I took a diamond cutter off the top rope and broke my collarbone, and my elbow was down here, like on my wrist.
Yeah, we were in a three-way together, like a three-way match, and he took the. It was a diamond cutter, and you took. I don't know. I remember me coming up to you and grabbing you, and you said that you were hurt, and I could feel like when I grabbed you through the shirt, I could feel something sharp. So when you pulled it out,
Did I say is it bad?
no, everybody was looking around, and I was like, you showed it, and I looked at Kenneth, and I was like, it's not that bad, is it? And Kenneth, Kenneth, you just have to know Kenneth. Kenneth looks at me, like, one of those looks like, no, man, it's really bad,
And then I'll be
and it
damned.
really was nasty.
It was, and I was working at a movie theater at the time. That's where we met Guffey, and because he used to work at the movie theater, but I was a projectionist, and I could just remember I was having to work that whole time with this cast on, and I'll be damned if it wasn't the moment I got that cast off and I was ready to get back in the ring. I took a fall on the ring, and a screw popped up out of the ring and ripped a hole deep, deep into my kneecap, like next to my leg.
You didn't have the best of luck inside the ring at first.
Come to find out, and then years later I break my back, and then, so I mean, I guess injury prone is how you would describe me a little bit. No. But those were very early on days. But I mean, for me, when you talk about Ricky Morton, for me, you're 3 years older than I am. So, me personally, I remember sitting in that basement where me, you, and dad lived next to our grandmother
Yeah.
over there close to the Sevier County High School.
Yes.
And sitting down, and I remember seeing that it was the 1 year anniversary of the NWO. and Sting was in the rafters. And this
Yeah,
kid's
that Clash
voice
of the
was like, "When a
Champions.
man's heart is full of deceit," and I was just instantaneously hooked
Yeah.
to
I mean, I remember it. It's
to.
when
I mean,
the bird come down. It was like pecking at like the New World Order. They were going to touch
Hall
it.
was like was
Yeah,
like threatening to hit it. Hall was like threatening to shoot punch this vulture, dude. It wasn't a crow; it was a vulture.
yeah. It was. Yeah, I do remember that. That was a classic.
Those are my formative years. So anytime, whenever I
That's
would,
96.
and that might give you guys a little indication on why I am the way I am. So
A little bit like
a
Sting.
little, yeah, and it's because he's one of my favorite wrestlers of all time. So, uh, but on these next shows, I really want to get into on the next episode Team Nashville and the
Yeah.
history of Team Nashville and how that all came about. Because I remember we even did a documentary on Team Nashville. I
Yeah, we
remember
did.
once.
And of course, Team Nashville, now known as right now, just Chase Stevens and King Shane. Kind of like a Team KFW is the way I look at them now.
Which is crazy to
Yeah,
think.
it's crazy to think about it, but I definitely look at them as like Team KFW, like two guys that helped kind of pave the way for us, taught us the business. You know,
Yeah, and on the next episode, whenever we talk about Team Nashville, we're going to try and up the ante on this platform. We're actually going to be showing promos and clips of some of the matches and clips of some of those kind of historical moments. But again, we want to give you guys a rewrap real quick about the show coming up before we sign off here. That's going to be taking place on November the 14th, the family gathering. If you enjoy listening to us talk about the history of KFW, and if you're a Crossfire fan, then you can get one of those VIP tickets because they are limited, and it's going to come with your meal, a live podcast, and then a photo op. So you're going to get to hang out with us and really experience what it's like to be part of the Henry family. I don't know if you're going to like it. No, I think you'll love it. Again, we showed this Shane and Chase in action against Tyler and
it's kind of,
JD.
you think about this. It's the old guard versus the new guard.
Yeah, and then the pretty much the family gathering at the end of the night.
And like I said, by the time this comes out, possibly Kylie's added to this match and Vixen's added, and this could be an 8-man tag when it's said and done.
Possibly, and then the return of Silas Mason.
Yes.
So, and there's going to be more matches that are going to be announced as time goes by, and we get closer to the event. So, guys, this was kind of a really cool little test run for us on episode 1.
I think this was shorter than our last one that we kind of just did on the phone or whatever.
I think we went.
I mean, but I thought it was pretty good, huh?
Yeah.
You think we went longer last time?
No, I think we went longer this time.
Okay.
Yeah.
I mean, what is it, 38 minutes?
I don't know, something like
We
that.
need to
Where
try
does
to
it
cut
say?
Well, we need to
Where
try to
does it
cut it
say?
to 30 right here up top. Like we need to cut it to 30, but I think for the first one.
I think 40 minutes is
Remember,
perfect.
November the 14th, family gathering. I want to kind of end on this right here. For some reason, we've always had, in my opinion, at times trouble drawing in November, December. I don't know what it's been. You know what I mean?
There's
But
a
we've
lot of
always talked
holiday
about,
stuff.
well, it's after harvest, but this is really like a Thanksgiving event. Like you used to hear about it back in the day, how family would get around and you would eat. There would be nothing to do, but you knew that on Thanksgiving and Christmas, wrestling was going to be at the high school or the local place, right? So
Yeah.
it used to be a huge draw back in the day. So November 14th, the Children of the Corn theme. This is a very dark Thanksgiving themed show because hell, it's about our family, so it's going to be a little dark, right?
Yeah.
So yeah, this is something I want to see really have a good number draw. You know what I mean? So if you could just come out and support this man, even if you don't get VIP, because again, VIP is limited right now. It really is. But yeah,
Where can they buy tickets?
you can go to KFW Wrestling Events on Facebook. You will be linked to Brown Paper Tickets, and there you can get your VIP ticket. Should be a general admission ticket there too, but definitely the VIP ticket. And the VIP ticket again gets you the meal, gets you the whole nine, man.
Awesome. And guys, I think we can come back to you before the Halloween, hopefully, and give you all another really cool episode where we talk about the updates for this event, the additional matches, and then maybe talk a little bit about more of that history and maybe really focus on Team Nashville. So, guys, thank you so much. We look forward to seeing you guys on November the 14th.
Yeah.
And yeah, it's been great hanging out with you. And yeah, keep it cool, man.
Yeah,
Just, you know,
and don't get caught in the crossfire.
don't get caught in the
I mean, we had to
crossfire.
close it down,
Damn it,
right?
you're right,
Yeah,
dude. I was
yeah.
trying to
That's
think of
okay,
it. I
man.
couldn't,
That's okay.
forget it.
That's okay.